Now, I don't care what party you belong to. I don't care what your political ideology may be. As an American, you should be appalled and disgusted, by the way, by the Biden family exploitation of this nation to apparently enrich themselves. The New York Post continues to drop stunning emails that prove Hunter Biden used the power and influence of his father's public office to become wildly rich. And even worse, his dad, Joe Biden, appears to not have only known about it, not only condoned it, but encouraged it. The trove of emails, photos, and text messages were obtained by the president's attorney, Rudy Giuliani. Apparently, these smoking gun files were on a computer allegedly tied to Hunter Biden and turned over to the Justice Department for investigation. Rudy Giuliani summed up the discovery this way.
In future days, you will see texts, emails, and photos that demonstrate crimes committed by the Biden crime family in China, probably most of all, Russia, and several other countries.
So what has been uncovered so far? Let's take a look. An email from a top executive with the now infamous corruption-plagued Ukrainian energy firm Burisma, a firm that was reportedly paying Hunter the hefty sum of $83,000 a month. It appears to prove Joe Biden knew full well about his son's quest to sell the power of the vice presidency on the international open market, and a confirmation Hunter's business dealings did intertwine with his father. The email reads this: "Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to D.C. and giving an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. It really an honor and pleasure." Now, let me remind you of this. It's Joe Biden 1 year ago. Watch.
Mr. Vice President, how many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
And so how do you know?
Let's talk about, here's what I know. I know Trump deserves to be investigated.
Well, let me tell you something. Here's what I know. We now know the overwhelming evidence proves that's a lie, Joe Biden. Plus, Joe Biden has it backwards. The computer files appear to be a treasure trove of Biden corruption. It's him and his family that need to be investigated. Mayor Giuliani points to an alleged Hunter Biden text message found on that computer that explains the, quote, distribution scheme the Biden crime family has been using for years. That's a direct quote from the mayor. That text message reads like this, quote, "I love all of you, but I don't receive any respect, and that's fine, I guess. Works for you, apparently. I hope you all can do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. It's really hard. But don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half of your salary." If the text message from Hunter is legitimate, it is purported to be legitimate, well then this text message is stunning, and it's a stunning admission, as the mayor points out.
Why was he paying for everything for the family? Because he was getting the money, and they were keeping it from Joe, so he wouldn't have to report it. But he paid, for example, his half-sister's entire college education, paid for a lot more things. In fact, in his own words, he paid for everything. But then it goes on to say, because the boss, remember the Godfather, the boss has to wet his beak. The boss has got to get his money. The boss here is Pop.
All right. But don't worry. Unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary, that text message reads. Now think about it. Barack Obama gives Joe Biden the task of negotiating with the Ukraine. Hunter secures an $83,000 a month job from Ukrainian Burisma. Obama dispatches Joe Biden to China. Hunter Biden goes with his father and then, weeks later, walks away with an investment deal worth billions from a Chinese bank. Those are just two of apparently many examples of the exploitation, and it should make every American sick. This email is from 2017. It too appears to be from Hunter Biden to the now vanished chairman of a now defunct Chinese energy firm, spelling out a $10 million consulting deal with an option to create a, quote, holding company for a, quote, much more lasting and lucrative arrangement that would make the Bidens partners in the firm. In the email, Biden appears to write about the partnership offer as, quote, so much more interesting to me and my family. And his family, he writes. Joe Biden is clearly part of the family, right? And this email spells out the equity in the new China-Biden partnership to be distributed as follows. This is a quote, 20 for H. Is H Hunter Biden? If so, it would appear that way. And 10 held by H for the big guy. Is, quote, the big guy Joe Biden himself? These are serious questions the Justice Department needs to investigate, and the American people need answers too. So I ask you, how does a man with no energy experience secure deals worth billions of dollars across the globe? The only answer any reasonable person can come up with is because his dad was vice president of the United States of America. And in many respects, I'll offer this up. Maybe Hunter Biden isn't the real bad guy in all of this. Maybe he's the victim. Maybe it's Pop, like a mafia boss. Maybe Joe Biden put Hunter up to all of it, putting his own son in legal harm's way just to make millions and using the vice presidency to do it. Is that the kind of man you want as president? A man willing to use his own son as a pawn in alleged illegal activity? Give Joe Biden 4 more years as president, the Bidens will be America's newest billionaire family.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.